What's up, everybody? I'm back with another episode of the Keep Going podcast. Today's guest is Jillian Anthony. She's a writer, a podcast host, an amazing woman, and also just completed over 500 miles of the Camino in Spain. I met her while I was traveling Portugal recently. We actually met at a market just over sharing some cheese. But she lives in Austin. She had just went on this amazing hike and really learned about not only herself, but how to process grief, how to let go of some control and enjoy the journey. I'm so blessed we were able to sit down, have a conversation that not only spoke of learning that you're capable of more than you know, but also the camaraderie of two Americans traveling the world and happening to connect. I can't thank her enough for her time. I know you all will enjoy this episode. As always, keep going. Thank you so much for coming by.
Thank you.
Make sure I'm good. There we go. Awesome. Well, I've got to say for the listeners, it's crazy how stuff happens because we just went to that market, that food market here in Porto, and then you offered us some cheese, and now here we are. So it's interesting how the world works, but my wife Rachel and I always talk about that seems like if you're a positive person and putting out that type of energy, it comes back. And it's funny, before you said something, I was going to offer you some of our stuff just because it seemed like that was what we should do, and you did it first. So thank you. That's
really nice. Yeah, you're welcome. It felt really nice to meet y'all because, as I was telling you at the market, I'm solo traveling, and it takes a lot to put yourself out there, I think. So I was super happy to meet you guys. You were so kind. Yeah, happy we connected today, very randomly over cheese. So
that's the first y'all I've heard in 10 days too. So it's nice. You don't hear it from anybody else.
Yeah, I've lived in Austin for 4 years, and I've definitely picked up the y'all of it all.
Where are you from originally, you said?
From LA.
Yeah, so
outside
not a
LA.
y'all place.
No.
Now you're one of us, I guess. Well, I'm from Oklahoma, but just above. Well, we'll just jump into it. I know you said you're on a 4-month solo trip, and the plan was to hike the Camino trail in Spain.
Yeah, so I just got done hiking the Camino. I was on the Camino for 45 days.
Oh my goodness.
I was walking. I took like 10 rest days, so I was walking 35 of those days. And yeah, I walked 600 miles, and it was incredible. And there's all these Camino routes that all end in Santiago de Compostela in Spain, and I walked the Camino Norte to the Primitivo to the Frances, and then ended in Santiago. And I arrived there just like a week and a half ago.
Wow. Mm-hmm. What prompted you to want to do something like that? That's a pretty heavy trek.
Yeah. The Camino itself was not the key thing I wanted to do. I love walking and hiking, and I love being in nature. So I think I wanted to take a longer travel. And the Camino just kind of presented itself as an option. I had friends that did it last year that really enjoyed it. And I am on this 4 months, I'm focusing on learning better Spanish. So I thought that Spain would be a great place to do that. And that ended up being so good. I feel so much more confident, even just 6 months on the trail in Spain. But yeah, I just wanted to do like a major physical challenge and be outside and hike. And that was my chance to do it. I honestly, the Camino was a little bit random. Like I just kind of chose. I was like, okay, I'm going to Spain and I'm going to go do that.
It's wild because I hadn't even really looked into it. And then a friend of mine back in Oklahoma, his wife and daughter just did it recently. Wow. You all might have crossed. Yeah. But they had, that was the first time I saw it. So when you brought it up today, I was like, that's wild how things are connected. Mm-hmm. And the goal was to do it solo. You didn't want to have anybody with you. You wanted to do it yourself, or?
Yes. This period of travel is definitely solo travel. I wanted some time to myself, some time alone. I've solo traveled some, but this is certainly the longest time. And you know, I'm doing Spain and then Guatemala and then Mexico. So, more outside of my comfort zone than the solo trips I've done in the States, more road trips or shorter trips. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I wanted solo time. I definitely got that on the Camino, but also lots of people every single day. So I never felt alone or lonely while I was out there.
Well, I'm kind of into hiking, camping, things like that. So what's the process of doing that trail? Do you have to sleep on the trail? Are you camping in a tent, or what's the process?
Yeah. So there's infrastructure set up on all of these caminos for pilgrims. We're all called pilgrims. It's a pilgrimage.
Okay.
I am not a religious person, but it's inspired by the Catholic Church. It's been going on for many hundreds of years. Pilgrims go to, I hope I don't mess this up because the religious aspect is not, my main thing, but basically the remains of St. James the Apostle are said to be in Santiago de Compostela. And so for many hundreds of years, pilgrims have been making their way to see those remains.
Okay.
So this is very popular. It's getting more and more popular every single year. There's all the infrastructure set up for pilgrims to be sleeping along the way every single night. So there's in Spain, it's also in Portugal. There's a Camino here. There's a Camino in France, lots of different places. So in Spain, they're called albergues. That's where you stay every night. The average cost is about €15 and it's bunk beds. It's set up. So sometimes there's public albergues in that all of the major stops that you're in. So those are actually, public and run by the government. And then there's private albergues as well, but they all cost like between 12 to €20 at the most expensive end. You get a bunk bed that usually doesn't include food. Sometimes it does. Sometimes food is like an extra, let's say €10. One time I paid €12 at a very small albergue and I had not only a meal included, but also they washed and dried my laundry, which was like, for me, very luxurious out there.
Yes.
So yeah. And then there's also, you can stay in hotels, of course, but albergues are obviously the most cost efficient way to do it. And also the most community driven. Then you're meeting all the other pilgrims and sleeping beside them every night.
Yeah. I mean, it'd be the way to go because you want to get the full experience, especially meeting other travelers. Because just like today, that's what sparked us, is that we were excited to meet someone kind of on a similar journey. So I bet it's nice to have that community as well, especially when you're solo traveling because you're doing it all alone.
Yeah, it was an amazing built-in community. Everyone's there for the same purpose. You end up meeting new groups like along the way that you maybe walk with a while. Some friends I met in the beginning and they did not see again until the end. And that was like amazing to reconnect. Some people find their little group and stick with them the whole time. I didn't do that. I would say I walked alone 50% of the time and I walked with others probably 50% of the time. You also just meet people on the trail and end up walking with them for hours and having deep connections and conversations.
Yeah, it's like you could kind of let down all your guard because you all are on the same journey. That is awesome. Where do you start at again? I know you mentioned it, but so that would be 45 days ago or 60 days ago now?
Yeah, so I started on September 7th in San Sebastián in Spain. People start at all different places though, but that was where I started. Okay.
And then take me through maybe some of the beginning or maybe some challenges or things along the way.
Yeah, the first week or two were definitely the most challenging. I feel the first week I was thrust into upside down world of my life, basically. I'm 37. I live alone. I work from home. I'm alone a lot. Not in a lonely way. I still see all my friends and, I'm very out there, but it was super different being in another country, speaking another language, suddenly being in bunk beds surrounded by 30 people, maybe more sometimes, sleeping inches away from snoring men, it was and then I think the stress of, I felt a new heaviness of taking care of myself. I always take care of myself, but this is different. I just don't have the backup people and the safety net of the comforts of home. So I think that all really weighed on me the first week, let alone also you are suddenly walking 15 to 20 miles a day. And it's mountainous. It's really up and down. So yeah, the physical challenges and the mental challenges, those first couple weeks of like getting used to this new life were intense.
Yeah.
And then by week 3 weeks in was when I switched over to the Camino Primitivo. So I started a new route that went more inland. It was more mountainous, more green, a little less people. Camino Norte is all along the beautiful Spanish coast. So just gorgeous beaches, but like some big cities, very popular, lots of people. So yeah, when I switched over to the Primitivo, I felt I had hit like my stride. I was physically fit then because I'd already been walking for 3 weeks. I had dealt with injuries and knew how to deal with, like I knew how to take care of my feet better because feet problems are super common.
What are the first ones? Like blisters?
Blisters for sure. Lots of tendon issues, knees, like people are dealing with all kinds of stuff. I had some blister issues. I went to the hospital to get an x-ray on my foot actually, because I was really worried I had a stress fracture on the top of my right foot was super swollen and had some pain. But I don't think I did. It's especially now that I've stopped walking, it's finally full. It was swollen for like 3 weeks. But now I've stopped walking like that. Anyways, that I think once I hit my stride and like was able to relax into the situation, that's I would say the other big challenge for me is letting go of control. I was not in control out there, and I'm
only
really
laughing because my wife literally brought that up today.
Mm-hmm.
We've been traveling, and I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, go ahead.
I have to say this. She was like, sometimes I'm getting stressed when we're on our trips because we try to do bigger trips once a year, and she's like, it's only because, like, at first I thought it was the environment I was in or something going on, but it's just the lack of control. And you have to kind of lean into that. So it's so wild to hear you say that because she literally said that today. So when you were losing control, did you lean into it? Were you like, okay, I kind of like this spontaneity and not knowing what's going on? Or what were the challenges there?
I was very aware that like that's what I needed to do. And actually I got a massage in Santander from this very intuitive man. And he even told me we barely, we talked a little bit, but like he didn't know me or didn't really even know what I was doing. He knew I was on the Camino, but he said to me, you're not going to be able to control everything. And I was like, how do you know that? Just from, touching my muscles a little bit. I knew it was a lesson I needed, and I don't think I was resistant. I just think that I have so much more to learn about letting go and not being in control because I do take care of myself and I am in control of myself, but the Camino guides you. It's not the other way around. It's like it shows you the experience. There's so many things you can't control. And it's certainly never going to be perfect. And you can't control when your body gets injured, and you have to take care of it and listen to it and deal with that. You can't control torrential downpours that you have to walk 15 miles through, So I think finally, once I got to the Primitivo, that was better for me. And actually, if I can share a story with you. You
can share whatever you'd like. I'm excited. Thank you so much.
Well, this was one of the highlights of my Camino, and it's about this point. So in the beginning, I was really, so you can book your lodging ahead of time. Most people will do it, let's say like 1 or 2 days beforehand. Some people do it for the whole trip. But then some people are like, they don't book accommodations at all. They just show up at the public albergues, or they just find a place to sleep that night. That's fine, but places do fill up. And if they fill up and they don't let you like sleep on the floor or something like that, you can be in a iffy situation. You either have to walk another however many kilometers after you've already done a really long day, or catch a really expensive car if there is one. Sometimes there's not cars out there at all. So anyways, this one day, it was my hardest day of my entire Camino. It's called the Hospitales. It's actually up in the mountains. And you go past the ruins of the old pilgrim hospitals from hundreds of years ago. And it's well known to be the hardest day. It's also like tough when you're on the other side, because everybody does that day and ends up in this one town, Borducedo. So it's many pilgrims, like all looking for a place to stay. And so I'm in my albergue the night before, people, I can hear everyone around me kind of being like, oh, the albergue is closed there. Like, oh, we need to find a sleep. It's going to be full. And my friend was like, you should book a place. You know, he was kind of freaking out. And I was like, you know what? No, I'm just going to walk there and find my place. I was very like in the zone then. I was really trusting the Camino. The thing people always say is the Camino provides. And I did experience that many times. But anyways, I walked my hard day, beautiful day, hard, lovely wild horses everywhere. Yeah, gorgeous. And around 3:30, but I'm slow, and I don't ever want to rush my days or rush my body to get like a bed. So my friend texted and she was like, where are you? There's only 3 beds left. I was like, I'm like 2 hours away. So the beds are going to be gone. I'm not, so I finally get down there, long day. I know the whole place is booked. I'm like, okay, I'm going to figure this out. So, I start going around. There's like 3 albergues in town. I start going around. They're all full. I end up talking to one of the people in charge. They're called hospitaleros. I asked him in Spanish, I know it's full. Is there anywhere I can sleep? I'll sleep on a mat I'll sleep on blankets on the floor. I'll sleep in a tent. If you have one, sometimes places have that just for like emergency like that. And he was like, no. And then the woman behind him who was like, he was working with her, she said, are you alone? I said, yes, I'm alone, and they ended up giving me a room in their home above the albergue for the same price. I think it was 17 euro that night. So, and that was a really magical and proud moment for me because I trusted. I didn't let myself get like afraid and freaked out. I spoke Spanish, which is like, I've been practicing a lot. So that I think me speaking Spanish was like very key in that situation. They didn't speak much English at all. And yeah, I trusted that the Camino would provide, and it did. That night, the man told me everything's sold out for 10 miles around. Like you're not going to find anything. So, and then I ended up having a private room in their home, so that was a really big moment.
It like doubles down on the letting go of the control, and then also shows you some really beautiful moments of humanity because they didn't have to help.
No.
And I think that's something that I've learned traveling as well, even though I haven't done that style. You'd be surprised like what people will do for you. I mean, yes. Whether it's if something small, like just giving you a ride, but a place to sleep, especially after walking all those miles, it's inspiring, honestly, because if you look around, you are usually fed nothing but the negative things going on in the world. And then you go experience it and you're like, the world's pretty great. And you got it firsthand. Yeah,
I totally agree. I feel really uplifted by, and like, yeah, I trust much more in humanity at this moment because I was helped left and right by all kinds of people. My fellow pilgrims, so many Spanish people, every day, just these coincidences that happen or like how you're taken care of. I really feel just so much more trusting in the world and people right now than I did beforehand. So I totally agree with you.
What do you think of those coincidences? Because that's like the word to use, but it doesn't feel like they're coincidences when it's so consistent.
Well, I agree. That's how I feel. I feel, when I left the Camino, and I'm still feeling this way now, like, let's say I left my albergue later than I wanted to. And I was like, oh, and basically by the end of my Camino, I was like, whatever happened, I left the albergue at the exact right time. I, missed my train for the exact right reason. Like, because all of these things just kept happening. You ended up meeting the perfect person you're supposed to meet that day. Even today, like just me off doing that that small thing of like, do you want some cheese? Like, and, and you thinking the same thing, like, were we supposed to meet today? I think so,
and it's weird because I felt it like so strongly. Like we sat there and I'm like, why do I want to offer her some bread? Like, why do I want to offer her something? But so this morning we did the same thing. We woke up early and we usually don't plan a lot of things. That's why we're sitting here in Porto. It wasn't even planned. We knew we wanted to go to Portugal, but we didn't know when or how we would do it. And then we were in Bristol in the UK Saturday. We were eating a burger at like 11 at night. And we're like, all right, Porto on Monday. And we just booked the ticket, came. But this morning when we woke up, we're like, we'll just walk into something. So we start walking. We're walking down the street here. I think it's like Fernandez Tomas or something like that. And I look over and it's that real famous blue building that everyone takes pictures of. I don't know the name. I would butcher it if I said something, but the one with the blue all the way around.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I've seen this online. And so we took a picture, kept walking. Then we stumbled into like an organic yogurt and fresh food place. So we got to sit down and have a great breakfast. Then we kept walking and just stumbled into that market. Like we had looked up a coffee shop and they said they moved. And so it led us to there. And we ate, went and had coffee, came back, and then met you. And I was like, this is... It starts to like, you don't want to take... I don't know how to say this exactly, but you don't want to... I guess feel like the universe is obligated to give you that. But it's not a surprise anymore. We started traveling more intensely about 4 years ago. And it's just been one magical moment after another. And it's like, I guess I'm going to just keep leaning into this. But it's like words can't express the gratitude I feel because it's just all the time. Like walking and meeting you. And then we leave you and we go upstairs to a place that was recommended to us. It's a guy that has a clothing line out here that they grew up skateboarding since they were kids. He tells us this whole story and is like, oh, if you go to the market, eat this restaurant because it's my mother's. I remember my friend's mother. We're like, okay. And then we're walking out of there and I was like, I kind of want to stay longer because we keep meeting people. This is our first like day in Porto. We messaged the host and we're like, can we get 2 more days? He's like, of course, booked. And we're like, wow, I guess this is where we're meant to be. And like some people travel and they're just checking off places. Like I'm going to go here for 2 days, here for 2 days, here for 2 days. And there's beauty in that as well. But we found that we find a place, walk around and end up meeting so many people that we're like, okay, we'll stay here 5 days or we'll stay here 7 days. And it's just so consistent that it kind of inspires you to just keep doing it. You're like, oh, I'm just going to keep going and try more and take more risk and be more uncomfortable. And especially someone like yourself that chose to do it solo and 4 months total, right? So when you leave here, you go to South America. That's a tough journey to take. When you were prepping for it, did you have people like saying you were crazy, like you shouldn't do that? Or was it a lot of support?
You know, it was mostly support. I think my parents are mostly supportive, but they also, it's like very foreign to them that I would do something like this, like especially as long and being alone. I think that, to be very honest, the most discouraging and frustrating thing that happens when I tell people I'm traveling alone, it's usually men, and it's usually them saying, as a woman. And it's just like very, very frustrating. I just think, first of all, they want to talk about safety with me. And I'm like, yes, I'm a woman. I understand. I don't really get why they don't get that. Of course I understand that. And like the reality of the world and how I need to watch out for my safety. And it's also that unsafety is caused by men. So that's like the irony of them telling you that is like interesting to me. And also there's so many women traveling alone. It's nothing new. There's really nothing that novel about it at this point. So it's like, it's frustrating to hear that. And of course I have like my own fears and misgivings. So to have those, and I deal with those, like you push past those to do what you need to do. And to have those like put on me by people is, that's the most frustrating thing I come across.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate. Even last night, I wanted to just, I'm in real estate. That's what I do full time. And my mom works for a company that buys property as well. So I was helping them get a property, and instead of texting her last night, I was like, I'll call her. I haven't talked to her in a few days. So I call her, we walk through it. I tell her where I'm at. And the first thing she says, well, be careful, be safe. And I get it, because I say that to people when they're like departing, like, be safe, have a good day. But it's like the tone, it's like fear-based. And I'm like, you all wouldn't understand because you're in your box. But if you get outside of it, and it doesn't have to be as far as Portugal, but just going out of your comfort zone a little bit, you'll see how many blessings you can get. And it is frustrating to get that put on you. Even when we were on our way to the airport back in Oklahoma City, the lady's like, where are you going? And we're like, the UK. She's like, you're going over there with all the crazy stuff happening on TV. And we're like, what are you talking about? And then we did a really cool hike it's the Peak District in UK, but I can't remember which one it's called, like Bamford Edge or something. It's all these beautiful hills. And when we're sitting at the cafe after, the waitress, super sweet, comes over and she's like, are there soldiers in ice walking through your streets like we see on TV? Like, very distraught. And I'm like, that's exactly what we're talking about. Like, you only get fed the negativity, but then you branch out and you're just so blessed. So it's rewarding, and it does feel good that not everyone will do it, because then maybe it wouldn't be as rewarding. But it's, I mean, the proof is right here. We're 5,000 miles from home, and we see you at a food market. And
yeah. And I was going to say too that I couldn't hear what language y'all were speaking. Like, I didn't even know you were speaking English, and I didn't know you were American.
Right.
Just so you, because I haven't told you that. So like, I think that's also just interesting that I just happened to offer. And then we end up having, a little bit of similar background, similar country.
And being so close, that's only a 5-hour drive. Like, that's pretty close.
Yeah.
It's about as close as you can get right now.
Yeah.
But you're right, because we don't know who you are or what language you speak or anything like that, but you offered it. And it's like, I understand this. And that's probably the beauty and humanity that we were talking about earlier. Like, most people are having good intentions. Even today, when I asked that coffee shop guy where the next location was, he's like, okay, go there, go upstairs, and then go back to the market. Like, you get all these recommendations so that on your journey on the hike, I know you talked about like the beginning being tough because of adjusting your body, which I get it. The pain in your feet, knees, hamstrings, all of that's got to be crazy. Like, when you started getting your stride, what were some of the highlights? Because I know it had to be a spiritual experience. Like, you had to feel like you're gaining confidence, you're all types of things. Take me through that, because I know it had to be emotional as well.
Yeah. Yeah. So many emotions and feelings and spiritual feelings. I guess the first thing that comes to mind is, I am grieving my brother this year. He passed less than a year ago. And that was ultimately he and his death are what brings me to this entire trip, because
Really?
I want to live. I want to go do things. I want to do the things I've been talking about and thinking about for so long. And so the walk was a big chance for me to process grief. And then also I tried talking to my dead people a lot more, actually talking to them. So I'm in the process this year of trying to bring my dead into my daily life more. And yeah, so I did that a lot. I had a lot of signs from my dead loved ones along the way.
Would you mind sharing a couple signs? Is that okay?
Yeah.
Just because I'm into that as well. And today, a year ago, is when my grandfather passed, that I get all my Native American heritage from, who raised me. And last year when he passed, we were on a similar trip, because we go around this time. So I can really resonate with that. So I'm curious the signs you saw.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm sorry if this is a heavy time for you as well. I understand.
I'm smiling because this is another one of those coincidences.
Yeah.
Like, you're talking about grieving your brother. Literally, I was on this couch before you got here and showed a picture of me and my grandpa that my wife took. And I was like, look, this was only a little over a year ago. Isn't that crazy? But I'm like you. I'm trying to lean into the positive side of that instead of the sad side. So if anything, this is healing. So I'm fine. Thank you.
Yeah. I think that something I'm trying now, that I read in a book was asking my dead loved ones to like help me with things or giving them tasks. And you know, on a really hard day, another one of my most painful day, I will say. It wasn't the hardest hike, but I had my right thigh was hurting like crazy. I hiked 16 miles and I limped 11 of those. It was a really hard day. Yeah. And I remember specifically, I like asked my brother has this beautiful sense of humor and like is very easy to be around. He's not as serious as I am, and it brings a lot of joviality to like wherever he is. So I asked him like, can you help me get through this? Like bring some joy and lightness to this trip. And then my grandfather also passed about a year and a half ago. And my grandpa he died when he was 91.
Wow.
Yeah, he lived a long, beautiful life, and he had the most positive attitude, even though he went through very hard things. And even when I saw him very ill the last, year of his life or so, like super positive person. So I asked him, like, please bring me some positivity into this. Like, let me not, be hating this day. Let me enjoy this experience as best I can and like know that I'm going to make it there. So yeah, I along the way, I just remember that day specifically, I was greeted by like a little puppy, who wanted to come and play with me. And I saw, that was just, one animal I saw that day. The animals on the Camino gave me a lot of comfort. There's, cows, pigs, goats, horses, tons of cats and dogs. Lots of cool bugs, like so many big slugs like that are like as big as your shoe. Yeah, they're really big.
It'd almost be scary at first. Gosh.
Yeah, I saw 2 snakes. I love seeing snakes. So anyways,
why do you love?
I just think they're really cool. I don't
misunderstood as well.
Yeah, I think they're really, really cool. That was another thing. I asked the Camino to show me a snake, but from a safe distance. And I got exactly that. But yeah, that day, like I felt, like I was given these little gifts as like, okay, you're going to be, also my grandpa likes to show up as a hummingbird, I believe. So I saw all these different things, and after I got to like play with this puppy, I was like, thank you. Okay, that helps. I felt like I was like cheered on a little bit, So I played with the puppy and I was like, I'm going to make it there. And I kept
That's
going.
the limping day though.
Yes. Yeah. But then I did make it there. And yeah, I had them help me through, I feel like. So
I want to share with you.
Yeah.
So the first time most of the family got together, which, just to give you some backstory. So like my Papa and Tutu is what I call them. My Papa is my grandpa. My Tutu is my grandma from Hawaii. And that's how you say grandma's in Hawaiian is Tutu. So they're like who raised me quite a bit when my parents split and my mom's work and dad's work and all these things. So I spent so much time with them. And when he passed, I was gone, obviously. When I look back, I'm like, maybe that's how I was supposed to do it, so that I wouldn't try to, even though I was being strong naturally, because for some reason when it happened, I felt like since he was at peace, I was at peace. But not being around the family gave me my own space, and Rachel being my best friend like gave me just the safe place where we literally, right when it happened, she's not even a crier like that. As soon as it happened, she busted out crying, and we're sitting in Penzance, which is the very southwest tip of the UK. It's like the last train stop. The train goes to a wall and then you go back. Like it's very far. She starts crying and I'm just still, and she's like, are you okay? And I was like, yeah, but I think we need to move. Like, let's do something. So we went and rented some bicycles, e-bikes, just rode up the coast, ended up stumbling into a beautiful coffee shop and all these positive things. But then when I circle back around and he passed, in the summer was the first time we had got together, and we went to Bend, Oregon, because one of his daughters lives there. So we go to Bend, Oregon, just me and my dad on a whim. He called me, I called him. I was like, hey, they said they're going to Oregon. Are you going? He said, no, I haven't found any tickets. And my dad's old school. So he's like, I didn't find anything. I'm not going. And I was like, I just found one. It's $400 a piece. I think we should go, just me and you. So we go. as a family, we go to hike. Have you been to Oregon since you're from California?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So we were by the Bend area, and we had, okay, yeah, it was my first time. I was blown away.
Mm-hmm.
So we went to Smith Rock, and we were hiking there. When we're almost to Smith Rock, so you said your grandpa is a hummingbird. In Native American culture, it's like a bald eagle. Mm-hmm. So a bald eagle circles us as we're entering the national park or the Smith Rock area. Then we hike. Me and an uncle and a cousin are the only three that want to do like the real hike. Most of everyone else kind of sat to the side and wanted to watch us. That was the beauty of the hike, is that they can sit like in a park area and just watch you climb, which is really cool. Mm-hmm. We get to the top and there's another bald eagle circling. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, it's kind of hard to lean into the sadness when you're getting like those repetitive moments of visits or talks. Or when we were in Penzance the night after he passed, he actually visited me that night, which was my first time getting visited like that, where he was like squeezing my hand real hard and he said, let go. And I'm just like, not let go of his hand, but like let go of the armor. And I just start crying. And when I woke up, like the whole sheet was wet. It was so crazy. But in the visit, his mother's there and she's like, oh, I didn't know you all were that close. Like I knew you all were close, but I didn't know it was like that. And he was like, yeah, we're really close. And it's interesting that those moments can bring you so much peace. So when you brought up like the hummingbird and your brother and things like that, it's like I'm getting like little goosebumps of just like, see that stuff that happened isn't fake or not for a reason. And then literally about a year ago, we both dealt with heavy loss and now we're sitting here. So it's not heavy in a bad way. If anything, it's like exactly what should happen. So I appreciate you for being open, because it's bringing a lot of joy to me. And my grandma actually, she said Portugal's her favorite place. And right after we met you, I sent her a picture that I had some wine and she was just so happy, and she sent me a bald eagle emoji. So it's like, if your eyes are open, your ears are open, like life will give it to you.
Yeah.
It's very interesting.
Yeah. And I think that's beautiful. Thank you for sharing. That's so beautiful. And I think that I want to cultivate that relationship. I want to be more open. I want to see more things, you know, I want to hear more messages. Like, I love that you were visited like that. I really hope to be in the future. I haven't been yet, but yeah, I want to like my heart and mind to be open to those experiences.
Well, thank you for just listening. Yeah. I'm curious, after that really hard day you had, like what point in the journey is that? When you're having the limp for 11 miles. The
limping day?
That's crazy.
Yeah.
And you have all your gear. And
yeah, it was a rough day. And I didn't even cry that day. I cried other days. But
probably happy and sad days of crying.
Yes. That was about 2 weeks in.
Okay. So right before you hit your stride. Yeah.
I think right after that, that was when my foot was swelling real bad too. So I took a few days off. The doctor was like, you need rest. So yeah, I rested and then kept going. And then by the time like week 3 was over, I felt stronger and ready to go. And I think part of that is because I had already overcome like from small to medium injuries, all these different, like by that time, all of us had, you know, and you just learn quickly your body's going to be there for you and it's going to heal. And like, as long as you listen to it and don't push it past where it's, you know, it's going to break, like, it's amazing how quickly you can heal from that stuff.
Well, 15 to 20 miles a day is insane, especially since you don't do that on a regular basis. Like, obviously you're in shape and you're active, but there's nothing that can, I mean, you can work before, but that prep's not going to be the same as what you're dealing with. So to push through it physically, mentally, emotionally is an accomplishment. That,
thank you.
Of course, Rachel always says at the end, I just want it, you know, I want to be happy with my memories. Like, and I interviewed a lady in Austin when I told you I did the horse training, and she was like, my husband, before he passed, always said, I hope it's just a good movie. Like, at the end, I hope it was a good movie. And those are the moments that'll stick with you. You know, I know I'm sharing a lot of stories, but I feel like you just need to hear them. We were in Sedona one time and a lady told me, one time I was riding horses through the canyons and a pack of coyotes rode with us for like 10 minutes. And she said, and nonchalant, she's like, Yeah, that'll be one of the memories that flashed before my eyes at the end. And I was just like, I need to start making more. Even though we were on a trip, I was like, that's my goal now.
Yeah.
Even the other day, Rachel was like, this is what we worked so hard for, to have some moments of real experience, real growth, and just being a human. After you kind of hit your stride, so at 3 weeks, how much time is left to finish?
I had about 2 more weeks.
Okay. So the total trip was about 5 weeks and 600 miles?
Yeah, it was. Oh, well, here, I guess it was a little longer, actually. I guess about 6 weeks in total, because it was 45 days I was on the road, because I got to Santiago. That was about 500 miles. I stayed there 2 days, and then I actually walked another 100 kilometers because a lot of pilgrims will go to Santiago and then go to this place called Fistera, which is known as the end of the world. It's where they used to think the world ended. Wow. The ocean there stretches on forever and ever. So I felt good. I had the time, and I was like, I'm gonna keep going. And I'm really glad I did, because those last, I did 4 days. Those last 4 days, they were challenging because I had serious rain on most of those days, and I was wet dog soaked on some of these walks. Like my shoes were I was just sloshing like inside my shoes, you know? And that's when you get bad blisters. So you have to be careful.
Yeah.
But,
all that moisture.
Yeah. But I was alone like most of that time. I didn't even really make friends at the albergues. And
what do you think that was, by like your choice, or just like how it happened?
I do. I think so. I think I was like winding down, you know, and I started alone, and I wanted to like kind of end it alone and have a little like processing time for myself. And none of my friends continued on to Fistera that I had like walked with and arrived with. So, totally different kind of last 4 days there, but it was so beautiful. And, I really enjoyed that time to myself to kind of wrap it up and like think about what I've accomplished and what I learned and and how I was feeling. I definitely felt a lot of sadness at the ending of this like very important, very different chapter of my life. I think I'm still feeling that. It's weird to just be like out of it, you know, after all that time spent in it and living so differently.
Yeah, it's like a different life for a moment.
Yeah.
What was the accomplishment moment like?
I mean, arriving at Santiago, that was just pure joy. I was just like pure joy, and so much confidence. Like you mentioned that before. I feel so much more confident in myself in general because I've gotten better at Spanish. I did this huge journey. I took myself way out of my comfort zone. Like I can do a lot of things. And I walked 500 miles. Like that's insane.
That's insane. Just the sentence, that enough. Take out everything else. Like I walked 500 miles. It's like, okay.
Yeah, that's really, it feels great. I feel so happy about it. I'm just like, you asking me is bringing it back to, thank you for letting me celebrate for a second. It's like, wow, I did that.
And that's not an easy like accomplishment and you have to earn it. You know, it's not given to you. You're not riding in a car for 500 miles. You're earning it. And there's something different about moments like that.
Yeah. It was, to walk 500 miles it's just such a different way of travel. And the way that you notice the world change around, because I walked through, I think 4 distinct regions of Spain that all have their own identity and culture and even language. You know, Basque Country has a different language. Galicia has a different language. So to see those lands actually changing before your eyes is like such a different way of traveling. And to be going through people's daily lives, their daily homes, so much farmland. It's just super different from, I've lived in LA, New York City, and Austin, like super city life for the most part, you know? Mm-hmm. So yeah, just really, really different. And you do feel like you earned it every day. You're like, wow, look, think of all the things I saw and everything I walked through today.
What does the slower pace do? Like as far as noticing, like you said, you noticed the bugs and the animals, like, did that bring you some awareness of like, maybe even in my daily life back home, I should take it slower than maybe I am, even though it seems like you do well since you work from home, you kind of have a hold on your schedule. Did it seem like maybe I'm going through life too fast sometimes or no?
Yeah, for sure. I think that the first thing that's popping into my head about those lessons is like, I waste a lot of time. Like, I don't want to be too hard on myself, but I think that I tried to be totally off my phone. I didn't have my laptop. I didn't work September, October. So I did not work throughout this entire period. What I told myself in the beginning is like, you know how Ken's job is beach in the Barbie movie?
Sure.
My job is walk. Like all I did for 6 to 10 hours a day was walk, eat, walk, sleep, get yourself there, make a friend, have a conversation. It was such a different way of living my daily life. It brought me tons of peace and joy. And I thought a lot about how I was like relaxing and spending my time at home. Like, television is like at night is like a big norm for me. Not saying I'm going to give that up completely, but the scrolling and the laptop, I'm on screens so much because that's my work. I mean, it's so normal for all of us to be totally taken out of that, not have any news reach me at all, not have any TV, not know anything that's going on in pop culture. It was extremely peaceful. And so I would like to bring some of that back to my life. And I think like being outside for 8 hours a day makes you very happy. Yeah. That was the number one thing. I'm honestly so I'm a freelance writer and I'm like, what do I do now? I'm thinking about being a dog walker. Like, like for a side gig, I can still be working with clients that I work with. But what can keep me outside for 8 hours a day? And can I combine my like love of animals with that somehow? Yeah. I'm not going to be a veterinarian at this point or anything like that. So yeah, it broadened my horizons. Also, so many people that are living alternative lives. Like, yes, there's a lot of retirees and like, there's some young people that are, just graduating school and taking a year off, but there's all sorts of other people who are arranging their lives so they can be there just like I did. So that was really inspiring to see as well. I want the experiences and the memories flashing before your eyes. I want that to be first and not work. And that's just been like since the pandemic, when I had my last full-time job, that's been the trajectory. I'm just like, how can I work way less and still have the life that I want?
Yeah, it's an interesting balance because like I have a friend back home and he is so successful in real estate. He's 23 years old and just accomplished all these things. His name's Eddie Pando. And I always tell him, because we'll get stuck in talks like this, I'm like, hey, you might not want to hang out around me too much. You seem goal driven for those things, and I'm proud of you for every accomplishment. So you may not want as much of my advice. And he always laughs because it was about similar time frame when I was like, man, I just think other things are important. And this year, it was after our last trip, because that was our first time. Last year around October, November, we did a full month and we had planned to go to all these countries, and we're like, actually, we're just going to stay in the UK. So we just trained around the whole country, seen places that most of the people live in there hadn't seen. And then this year, solo and together, Rachel and I have traveled the most we have. And it hasn't always been crazy long trips. It may be 3 days, 4 days, or 2 weeks. But I've never been happier. And I said it earlier, but when she brought up, this is what we do it for. That's why you work so hard, so we can have moments like this. And it's a nice balance to have, because life is short. I mean, I'm 33. My birthday, I'll turn 33 next month. And it feels like it came out of nowhere as well. But in the last 3 to 4 years, since we've traveled so much more, I do feel like even though time has moved, my enjoyment of the time has just skyrocketed to where I can be like, oh, well, I sat with Jillian in the middle of Porto in an Airbnb and got to talk. Like, that's a memory that'll stick with me. Yeah. And I think that's real living. I mean, she's seen me break down before and I was crying and she's like, what's wrong? I'm like, I just hate the fact that everyone just has to have money. Like, obvious, it's needed. We wouldn't have been where we're at today. But I'm like, man, like, I have so much more fun when I'm just talking with somebody, or hiking, or sitting on the beach, or eating food with someone's family that we just met. And like, those are the moments that are just more important to my memory. And more people should be like that, but I'm happy that I've met so many like-minded people along the way. Like, it is so crazy to me that this feels normal. Like, to stumble into you and we walk off and she's like, you should really go. And she's like my intuitive teacher. She's like, you should go back and ask her. And then you're like, I have a podcast too. I'm like, do you just want to come see us every so often, like back home? Like, you just, it's so instant that in the past it would scare you, but now you're like, I'm on the right path. That's why I got this 222, is like, it means you're always on the right path. And we're sitting in C2. Every time we're walking, it'll be like 22 or 222 or 2. And you're just like, once you tune your mind to it, it happens a lot more. When do you leave here? Do you have it planned or not?
Yes, I do. For so long, the only thing I had planned was my flight back to, I'm going Miami, then Guatemala, then Mexico.
Why Miami?
Basically just the stop off point before Guatemala.
Okay.
I just picked like an affordable flight city over there. And I've never been. So I was like, I'm going to go enjoy a few days there. So it's just going to be me chilling on the beach. I no friends or anything with me, but it'll still be fun.
You'll probably meet some.
Yeah, I'm staying in a hostel there. So I think that'll be really easy to meet people. But for a very long time, I'd only had that Miami flight to Guatemala. But now, tomorrow, I go to Cascais.
Where's that?
Outside of Lisbon. It's like a beach town. It's going to be raining, I think. So I chose a nice room where I can just like relax and journal and like hopefully have a bathtub.
You're like taking the words out of my mouth, because I was like take a bath, like
yes,
those little joys.
Yeah, and then Lisbon, and then I'm on my way back to the other continent. So. When
you get to Guatemala, you're hiking there as well?
I will do a little hiking, but no, I'm going into language classes in a town called Quetzaltenango. It's outside of Antigua, about 3 hours. And my language tutor, she lives in Guatemala. We've been having one-on-one sessions all year. I'm going to her school. So I'm going to school. I'm going to live with a host family. I'm going to also try to do that I'm doing that for 2 weeks in Guatemala. I'm going to also try to do that for at least 1 week in Mexico. Because still my goal is by the end of this year, I want to feel like comfortable with conversational Spanish. And I'm totally getting there. I want to like continue to dedicate this time to learning the language.
And that'll be the best way to do it, because one, you're by yourself. So it's like you don't have your friend or partner or whoever it is, and you won't feel like embarrassed when it's just you and that person. You have to figure it out. So it's really nice to throw yourself into the deep end with that, because that you're going to learn the best. Yeah. And to choose to do the 3 different Spanish countries like that is awesome. Well, you'll get some practice in Miami too, probably.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. But I feel so much more confident now, and like I can't wait to see where I'm at in 2 more months with that.
So do you think once you get back home and reset, because I know it's going to be different once you get back, do you think it'll be like a new trajectory for you where you plan these hard but fulfilling trips more often for yourself?
There's a lot of options on the horizon. One option is move to South America for a year. I'm Salvadorian. I'm trying to reconnect with my culture more, which is part of why I'm trying to really learn Spanish. Could I go live there for a while? Could I go live in some other Central or South American country for a while? That way I'll truly become fluent, because I'm a long way from being fluent. That takes a long time. But a year in a country would help me a lot. Oh yeah. I think something else that's been on my heart a lot is like, I really want to do 3 months in Asia. So do I try to buckle down for 26, save everything I can, and then do another longer trip in 27? I think that the number one thing I think about, whatever I decide to do, that's on the way. I don't have I trust my intuition very much. I'm very in tune with myself in that way. So the answer's coming. I don't need to force it or push it. I'm just going to keep thinking on it, and it'll present itself to me. But what matters is that I'm not waiting on these things, and I'm not just like sitting around thinking about them. So once I know what that thing is, and I'm like, sure, the point is like, okay, let's move. Let's not like be sitting around, because I'm alive now, but I might not be later. And
That's inspiring to hear someone talk about these experiences, because no matter if I meet someone that's around my age like yourself or younger or older, it's always inspiring to like meet someone that's pushing their boundaries. And there's so many ways you can do that, but it's just fulfilling to like hear those things from people. Kind of makes you want to keep going and go a little harder for yourself too.
Yeah, and I feel like you really inspired me in the same way today, because I was telling you when we met that it can be tough as a solo traveler to meet people. And I have been feeling actually a little lonely the last couple of days. So like to not only have this connection with you it shows me this is possible. Every time this happens, you feel it's more possible, right?
More confidence, yeah.
Yeah. And then also hearing about your experiences of just meeting so many people and having such a great time, like that is also really inspiring for me. It's all like my Camino experience. It's like, just dive into it and get past the discomfort zone, and then you'll discover you can do it, and it's fine.
You just never know. Like I'm Comanche, and they're around that Austin area. The Comanches were Texas, Oklahoma, New Mexico. It's a very broad area, but I wanted to get more in tune with horses, because the Spanish brought horses over to the Comanches, and that's when they went from like the bottom of the totem pole to some of the fiercest warriors in the native history, just because of their horsemanship and things like that. And I was like, I don't want to be a Comanche that can't ride a horse. And I was honestly nervous of them to be like around them. So she was like, hey, I found this whoop. Do you know what woofing is?
Yes, I do.
Okay, I was like, you need to add that, because
I've been thinking about, I'm like, I should go whooping. Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
She's the one that taught me that. She went to a farm in New Mexico for a month, and then she was like, you need to go. And she found the one in Austin. So I go down there. And of course, I'm learning about the horses. Kelly is the woman's name. And she was like, yeah, most people come down here and do the farm work and then just kind of explore Austin and don't do much with the horses. She's like, you're really interested. So I would just sit there and watch her in the round pen for like 3 hours. This 68-year-old lady just training these horses, some that were trained, some that are brand new. And like that part is awesome. But also, her daughter took me on a hike, and we went to that blue hole. And then we went,
you went? Okay.
Yeah, or around that area.
Yeah.
And got to sunbathe, and like I actually played the flute for them. I play a native flute, so I played the flute for them and gave them a sage blessing. They're like, thank you, and blessed her stomach. She was having a baby, and just all these moments. But then at the end, I was like, would you be on my podcast? To Kelly. She's like, I guess. I don't know what that is. And I was like, would you? And she's like, yeah. So we have this hour conversation about not only life, but the horses and why she does it and all these things. And then at the end, and this is the part that like I didn't know I was going to get, we had spent days pretty much just hip to hip, almost saying like, hey, it's getting late, we should go to sleep, because we were just talking and a lot of therapy. And at the end of that episode, I'm like, thank you, and I really need it, and just boom. And I'm just like, it is the most I've cried on the podcast, so it's a moment for me. But it's like I didn't know I was going to get that. Yeah. And like Rachel and I were doing great, but kind of going through a little bit of struggle. And then talking to this woman that has so much more experience than me to give me some perspective, and you just don't know what you'll get. So it's like, not only do you get good memories of just seeing the animals and hiking, like that itself was beautiful, but you get these moments you don't expect that like improve your character or your look on life or your health or your mental health. It's like, it's a blessing. That's all I can say. And it's meant to be that we stumbled into today. And I'm excited to see where our relationship goes, because like it's not ending here. And I think that's really awesome as well. Like next time we go to Austin, we've got a friend. And I think that's really cool.
Absolutely. I hope that's soon. I'll be back in January, and
Might be right on time.
yeah, I'm sure it will be.
Now I got Jillian and Kelly.
Yeah. And you can show me your horse friends.
Yeah. And feel free to, if you ever come to Oklahoma City,
I would love to.
you'd have a great time. But I wanted to make sure I didn't leave anything unsaid about your journey. I'm sure you have so many stories, but since you haven't got to share with somebody, if there's anything else about the trail and the hike and everything you did, I'd love to hear it. If you're content, that's fine as well, but I wanted to hear what you say.
That's so nice. I think the only just one more thing to say as I'm thinking about as you're talking about these things is just the coincidental but not encounters that I had with people on the trail. Specifically the conversations I had about grief on the trail with people, the two women I'm thinking of, I only walked with them for that day. I only knew them, one for that day and one for this other day. And one was at the beginning and one was near the end. So I just want to mention that because those conversations were super impactful. I learned the power of connecting with strangers in a way I haven't done and felt in a long time. So all the same things that we're discussing here today, I just remain open to these conversations and these connections because even if it's just for an hour or 3, it can be really life-changing.
Yeah, it doesn't matter if it's quick or lifelong. You don't know what someone can do for you like that. And it's interesting that people can help you so much through those tough times. And then to connect with you and know we're both on a almost year mark of losing people important to us, and it's just over cheese. Before I wrap up, I know you're good on your end. You said you may have some questions for me. I wanted to see if there was anything that you had for me.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I didn't get to learn much about you. Thank you for sharing what you did. But well,
there's a bunch of episodes if you want to go way too deep.
Yeah, no, I think just I want to know a little bit more about, I asked you a little bit about this, but 100 episodes or more with people on your podcast, right? What have these conversations helped bring out for you in the world? And clearly you enjoy them because you keep doing them. And 100 episodes is a lot of commitment.
So when I started it, I told myself, don't start it if you're just going to quit quickly, because there's no point in getting into it and then just stopping, which it's funny that the name is Keep Going, but I'm one of those type of guys, or humans, that when I say I'm going to do something, I want to do it. I want to commit to it. And at first, it was interesting learning about people because I was interviewing some people I knew, some people I didn't. Something that's really cool is that even if you do know them, when you sit with them for an hour and a half face to face like this, you learn stuff you didn't know.
Yeah.
I was interviewing family members, jiu-jitsu coaches, athletes, friends, business owners. The range just was bringing me so much value as far as how many perspectives I was being able to absorb. And personally, that was probably the biggest thing that kept me locked into it, was that I was getting so much gratification from, one, being patient enough to sit down with somebody and have an organic conversation. You don't see a list of questions here, which no disrespect to that. I love the framework. I listen to podcasts that have a great framework where I can almost know what's coming. For some reason, it's worked for me to be more natural. Another thing that's been huge is how comfortable people have felt. I've loved connecting with people my whole life. I've always been more of an emotional guy, but I didn't know that it feels so weird to say these things. I didn't know I had a skill of making people feel comfortable and making people open up. So that's been an interesting perspective along the journey as well, because people will finish up and they're like, man, I was so nervous, but that was awesome. Or I haven't talked about that with anybody at all. like not even family. And then now it's for everybody. And I didn't know it was a skill to show people that I can be vulnerable and that they would reciprocate it.
Yeah.
So that's been very moving. I mean, I told you before we started recording, the last episode I recorded right before I left home, which comes out in a week or two, was a friend of my mom who walked in on her husband that had just committed suicide. She listened to my dad's episode. So episode 100 is with my dad. I wanted to interview him about our experiences, but also like what it's like being parentless, because his mom passed about 8 years ago. And well, I've been with Rachel for 8 years, so like 10 years ago. And that was a big hit for him. But then my grandfather last year, that was a huge hit as well. And being able to sit there and like ask your father questions about what it's like when you lose your father, I was like, I just want to be somewhat more prepared when you're gone. But Lisa, my mom's friend, listened to that and then messaged me on Facebook, and I actually helped her buy and sell a home before as well. She was like, hey, I've never talked about this publicly, not even to a lot of my friends. I'd love to come on your podcast and talk about like what it was like walking in on the suicide, tell people they're not alone, look for the signs, all these things. And I honestly didn't want to record another one before I left. I was trying to be like in control. I was trying to be in control and be like, no, for 9 days before I leave for this trip, I'm not doing any podcasts. I'm going to just focus on me. And I got that message and I was like, yeah, can you do, it was like 2 days from when it was. I was like, can you do Wednesday? And she's like, yeah. So having moments like that, but also where it's went, well, one more thing is you never know what someone gets from it. So I told you before, someone messaged me, it was like, I really enjoyed the one listening to your dad. Or my stepdad, Nathan, who I've got so much love for, messaged me one day and was like, hey, I listened to this episode with Tanya, and that was a lady in Oklahoma City that has like a skin studio. She's an esthetician, does all these things. But she came on and talked about like what trauma she had growing up, how it's proven to, or how pushing through and like taking risks like we have has trajected her life. And like he messaged me, was like, hey, I didn't know I needed that. Thank you. And I'm like, whether it's a stranger or a family member, it's insane. And then last week, sitting there with my friend Tav and his two friends he grew up with in the UK, and they're all entrepreneurs. Like, it's weird that that's my new life. And my grandpa that passed would laugh because I always said weird. He's like, not everything can be weird. And I was like, well, you have 8 words for weird. I just have weird. But it's like, I can't be surprised anymore. And sitting down with them and then stumbling into you, and I'm going to be very happy when I look back when I'm an old man and I've got 1,000, 2,000 episodes of all these moments that I've had with people along my journey. And that's what motivates me to keep going and keep doing it. And I'm just very thankful. I guess that's probably the real reason, because anytime I get stressed about it, I'm like, oh, I gotta get an episode, or I gotta schedule something magical happens. And whether it's Lisa or yourself or the guy at the clothing store today, it's just a blessing is all I can say. I'm super thankful. Thank you for asking me that. I don't know if that was too long-winded for you.
No, that's so beautiful. Yeah, I think it's great to recognize that gift you have. I feel it. You're very comfortable to speak with, and how beautiful you get to share these like incredible moments with people. And thank you for sharing it with me as well. I love that your passion for this is so real and pure. I can totally feel that. And it's inspiring me to like carry on with the conversations I like to have on podcasts and just in life as well. It's not for any growth reasons or whatever, like we were talking about earlier. It's that they're so enriching and they provide so much to your life and then so much to other people's lives. So yeah, thank you for being open like that and allowing me to be open with you. You are very easy to talk to, and I can see that that's a huge talent for you.
Well, it means a lot. I appreciate it. And I'll be looking forward to part 2 in Austin.
Yeah.
It'll
I
be
can't
very
wait.
nice to see you. But Jillian, thank you. And congrats on everything you did.
Thank you.
This was
Thank you so
awesome.
much for hearing about my story. I'm happy to talk about it. Thank you.
For sure. Thank you. We'll get out of here.